Hello and welcome to episode 123 of the Cutie Art Crusaders for November 18th, 2014. Not 8-turd. 18th.
Who wrote that?
My name is Rainbow Plasma. I'm the organizer and this week's editor of the podcast. And today I'm joined by
Bernd 01, the special guest coordinator.
I'm Flutterguy317 and I'm the media manager.
And I'm at my Spark. I do the things with the stuff.
I don't think anybody really knows what you actually do
It changes
anymore.
every week. We've
Yeah,
been
it
through
does.
this, yeah.
All right. Who's the culprit? Who wrote November 18th?
18th? 18th.
Somebody just copy pasted and then put the 18th in without changing the to the.
No. I did explicitly change it to RD.
Oh, okay.
I hate you.
Well then, thank
For
you
the
very
record.
much.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Feel great. Great.
That was pretty good. Thank you.
Guys, it's episode 123.
Oh my goodness!
You all disappoint me.
We should get married on this episode. So then we can say we got married on episode 123.
Just a sec. What?
Bernd, are you proposing to us?
Marriage date jokes. Guys, marry me.
That's not even a joke. You just literally randomly proposed to us. I didn't even get it.
Friends
There's
don't
no...
do
You need to
that.
get down on your knee.
Just
where's my ring,
friends
bud?
proposing? Nah, that's too official.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, Bernd. I mean, like, I'm flattered, but...
I
Here,
expect a ring.
take this cruddy MS Paint
At
ring I
least
made
flowers.
for you.
Vern, I'm expecting you to send me a cruddy MS Paint ring for the editing of this podcast.
Will do.
I use the ellipse tool and everything.
It's gonna be so JPEG.
Talk about your stupid helicopter already.
Yeah. Okay. This thing. I got a little tiny helicopter. It's in my hand. It's literally the length of my finger.
I expect a...
But
Can
no,
you click your
wait,
webcam on Skype so I can see it?
You literally did not say anything. You just said this thing.
I got a
about
tiny
it.
little remote control helicopter.
Okay.
It was like $20 from Target.
I expect a crappy MS Paint
Click the
picture of
webcam
your...
thing on Skype.
I don't have a webcam. I don't know where it is.
Well, Silver has one. Never mind.
Yeah,
then.
Silver's. I've got one. It's in a box somewhere because we still
You're a
haven't unpacked for
bum.
moving.
It's been what now? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that was exhilarating.
I'm glad we had I got a tiny helicopter in our talking points. That was
I'm glad.
fantastic.
Really glad.
Yep.
Have
It snowed. That happened
Have
too.
you been
There.
bugging Silver with your tiny helicopter?
I have.
That's good.
Maybe you should bugger with your large helicopter.
Here it is. There's actually a picture on Google. There it is.
Oh yeah? Oh, I wanna see
On
it.
the Googles.
All right.
Oh my god, that
cool.
is tiny.
Oh, what? It's so teeny.
It's so cute.
It's
Damn it! I'm
adorable.
going to save this stupid picture.
Now I want a tiny helicopter.
All right. While I save this picture, do you want to talk about snow?
I got it. I put it in the thing for you.
It
Him helping.
snowed in Canada
No, it
and
didn't.
in the Northeast, kind of, a little bit.
It hasn't stayed yet, so I'm not really sure why we're even talking about it.
Yeah.
What are the talking points this week? Our talking points suck.
Yeah,
It
that's pretty
snowed in the
terrible.
Pacific Northwest too.
Really?
It's also cold.
Yeah.
It's really cold.
It's cold.
It's cold as
No,
ducks.
it's not. It's like literally the opposite.
I hate ducks. So cold.
You hate ducks? Ah, don't let Sibsy hear you.
Because they're cold.
Oh my god, can we talk about that? Sipsy got engaged. Oh my goodness.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh
we
my
can talk about that.
goodness.
This is more important than
Wait,
any
wait,
like our
That's a
crap.
good
Bernd,
talking point, dude.
Is that why you proposed to us? Is
Yes.
this like
He's-
a
he's
marriage
feeling
I
thing?
was
inadequate
super,
because
super jealous.
Mando proposed.
Exactly, and so it's like I needed to fill that void in my heart.
It was so subconscious too. That's creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's so
congratulations.
awesome though.
Yeah.
Congratulations to both of them. I got the awesome opportunity to talk with both of them when we were on the flight together, and for BronyCon, and they're both just awesome people in general. They both get an undue amount of crap thrown at them for no reason,
I know.
because they're both amazing people, and it honestly warms my heart to know that both of them are still going well, and they're getting married, because they're fantastic together, and they really do bring out the best in each other. So, on behalf of everybody at the Cutie Art Crusaders, congratulations to both of them.
It's like a Disney movie.
Maybe we should send them a crappy JPEG ring.
Oh my goodness. Such a thoughtful gift.
Yep. All right. So we got 2 more talking points, I guess.
All right, Bernd, do you want to talk about your show, and I'll talk about my show?
Yay. Okay, so, and the thing that I want to talk about, during Halloween, Cartoon Network released a short series called Over the Garden Wall, and I remember seeing a bit about it and looked interesting, and actually watched it a couple days ago, and it was fantastic. So I just wanted to basically recommend it. It was an adorable little short. It was kind of like this ragtime, jazzy, swing-ish, old school style thing. I don't know how to describe it. Like, what is it? What's that video game, Don't Starve? It kind of has like a Don't Starve feeling, but in like a short animated cartoon. It's a little spooky, but it's still like a kid's cartoon. It almost has an Adventure Time feel. But it was adorable, and it's basically, it says the main character, a boy, and then his younger brother, and they go on these adventures in this magical land. And then basically the story and how this world develops and stuff. And it was really, really charming, and it was adorable, and I really recommend it. The music was awesome, the art style was awesome, the story was better. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. And it's a short story. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 6 episodes, I believe.
Cool. I'll have to watch it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned all of that and how good the show was and how short it was. I had the opposite problem yesterday. So recently, after being recommended by basically everyone on the planet, I started watching, about a month ago, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is like, at this point, like it started like a decade ago. Anyways, I watched, over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks, I watched the first season and the beginning, like half of the second season. And there's 3 seasons in total, in case people don't know. And so I was really getting into it. And then recently, I've just kind of been picking up steam on it. And yesterday, I watched 4 episodes from season 2, the last 4 episodes from season 2, and the entire 3rd season.
Jeebus.
So I'm now done the series. But I started at like 5 in the afternoon and ended up at like 3 a.m. and just to watch the finale.
Rhyminy. Did you like the finale? Was it good?
It was good. I really enjoyed the series in general. I think it's honestly one of the best series I've ever watched. It has so much going for it, and it feels like it's ahead of its time because of the debates that we're having nowadays about TV shows.
Yeah.
It really was like ahead of its time, and yeah, it's a fantastic series. I mean, a lot of people have recommended obviously picking up Korra afterwards. So I haven't done that yet, mostly because yesterday I finished Avatar, so I might take like a couple-day break or something like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I plan on picking up Korra afterwards, and I would definitely recommend if anybody has heard about it and said, "Well, I'd be interested in that," but they haven't seen it yet. It's amazing.
Yep.
I've seen exactly none of it.
I haven't seen any of it
Well,
either.
I know Silver wants you to watch it, Joel, and seriously,
she
like
does.
you would love it. Like it is an amazing TV series. Like it's top 5 of all time for me in terms of TV series. Like it's really good.
I still need to watch the new season of Korra. I haven't done that yet.
I hear that it's all very good. I just need to like schedule a weekend basically and just binge watch it.
Well, you're gonna have to schedule like 3 days.
I'm too lazy to actually sit down and watch that club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done a binge session like that before in my life.
Really?
I've never binged that hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
man.
last time I binged something like that was actually My Little Pony.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hey,
anyways,
hey
that's,
guys, you want to binge watch My Little Pony after this?
No,
I'm gonna go binge on WoW.
absolutely not.
If I
That
can
would
get
take
in a
like
server.
4 days.
Yeah.
Lords of Draenor.
Something. I mean, Wait, just a second, Bernd. Are you playing WoW again?
Maybe.
I knew you were, because I was playing
On some
Hearthstone.
circumstances, some might say that I play WoW now,
Yeah.
as I did before.
I was playing Minecraft when I stopped for this.
Well,
You
quote
worse than me.
unquote, play WoW because I can't log into a bloody server.
Well, welcome to everyone else in the entire world.
I haven't played it for like a past week because no one can. You're playing Minecraft,
You know what
Joel?
that? You know what that means, Burns?
What does
Bernd,
it mean?
that means
Please
you
tell
should
me.
pay attention to the podcast.
Instead of rating.
Whoa.
Nah, man, forget the podcast. I'm gonna have Bernd's WoW show, and it's gonna be just me playing WoW. What were you saying about Minecraft?
Anyways,
What would your appeal be?
he just wanted to talk about his game stuff too. But we're 10 minutes in now. We have to start talking about ours.
Yeah. Are we
Okay.
gonna
Well, yeah, we'll do this then.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm starting.
you are starting.
You are starting.
Yeah. Thanks
So-
to random.org. I'm starting.
So wait, before we start this,
Come on.
last week we had a guest episode, and the week before that we had a theme, but now we're going back to just random pieces that we like. So,
Okay,
Joel,
so
go ahead.
today's a normal episode. Hooray!
Wait, before you start, really quick, let me just I gotta do some pre-art stretches here.
You mean you haven't been stretching this whole time? Like,
Yeah, I
come
gotta
on.
stretch my eye muscles. I gotta open and close my eyes. No, I'm kidding. Go.
I actually do that.
Hey, before
like,
I
off
start-
note. Yeah, go on.
Go.
All right. So art. Yeah. Bernd? Yeah.
I'm just
All right,
picking my
okay.
nose.
Hard.
Cool. All right. So, all right.
I have a tissue, it's okay.
I chose this one. It's called Rainbow Paint by Joey Bean.
Oh my
It's
god,
got-
guys, we made it. It's art.
It's art. Yeah, we made it. Okay, so it's the main 6 ponies with... This is done only recently, so it is after the rainbow hype. But it's like... each character is like dropped a thing of paint, and there's paint splattered everywhere, and everybody's covered in paint, and it's all rainbow, and there's elements of harmony in the sky, and it's adorable.
It's their keys, not the elements.
Yeah,
of harmony. It's
They
their
were
keys.
paint
Well,
wrestling.
both.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is that their are the colors that they splashed on themselves? Is that their rainbow colors?
It looks like
I
it.
think so.
Because I know
Twilight
that
definitely
Twilight's is.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know about
Pinky's
the
is and
others.
Rarity's is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then
it
it
must
must be.
It is,
think
and
it is.
Applejack's is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about their forms, their final forms to.
I know for a
I
fact
Near
that
my final form.
I know exactly what Rarity's colors are because Silver's always complaining about them.
Right. I haven't gone back and watched the season 4 finale, so I don't remember what they are.
Either way, actually.
But I mean, it's a really interesting concept just to kind of start off on this piece. You know, the fact that using these kind of colors to complement the colors of the particular ponies, and using them almost like I don't know. I think there was a lot of design that went into picking the right colors for these ponies when they went into those forms. You know, so it's really cool to see it here, and you can kind of see here how, for a lot of the characters, at least most of them, if not all of them, they all have quite complementary colors. Sorry, I keep using the term complementary colors. What I mean is nice colors that go together. It's not necessarily complementary, because complementary is opposites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them are. Like, Twilight has that little, like, subtle yellow. Like, they're complements, but they're dull. They're subdued for some of the characters. So, like, Applejack has a pretty vivid red, and in her super form, she has her complement of red, and, like, that's the most distinct complement out of the 6, I believe. And then, like, Twilight and Rarity have the yellow to go with the purple in their characters.
Yeah, people forget
but it's
yellow and
really,
purple are complements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really desaturated yellow. It's a very light color of yellow, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how saturated the red and the green are on Applejack, because the rest of the splotches are fairly desaturated.
Yeah, I think it's to go with her eyes, because her eyes are bright green, so it's just like more of that green in her eyes, and then where like some of the other characters as well have kind of this almost a similar color to what's in their eyes, like Pinkie Pie.
Yeah. And it also makes her...
Most of these colors are saturated.
Here,
do you
yes. We're talking about the yellow specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I guess also it kind of distinguishes her from Rainbow Dash, because Rainbow Dash has some green on her as well. So,
Yeah. That works.
yeah.
We've been provided with a picture of what they actually look like in their
Yes.
Super Saiyan form.
Oh,
Here's the Super Saiyan form.
Yeah, it's like neon. But it's
Yeah.
still like that yellow is still like, it's not like banana yellow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean you can see the things like
Nanners.
in Applejack. You can see how the red has been added and the green has been added with the
Yeah.
hair.
I like how Applejack turned into a toffee apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinkie Pie's got the blue in her eyes.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? In this, you can really see in Fluttershy that it's much more of a teal, kind of that darker blue-green, Whereas it seems like in Jelly Beans, it's almost like it's the same blue that you see on almost every single character. So,
Well, it's supposed to be like a messy, like splotchy version of it.
Yeah.
I like teal, okay?
So it does look like the characters have that touch of their complement. So like for Fluttershy, that kind of green is the complement to pink, basically. The kind of like turquoise, whatever it is. Is kind of the complement to the pink, and then all the characters have that little bit. Not sure about Pinkie Pie. I'm not really sure what the complement of pink is.
Adorable.
Because that's the saturated pink. I guess it would be the teal. It would be the teal that's in Fluttershy, but yeah.
So the complement of pink is adorable. So what you're saying is pink is horrifying. Pink is the opposite of adorable.
No.
Well, you got to be careful with the opposites because, like, a compliment, like, yes, it's not an opposite, quote unquote. It's opposite of that color on the color wheel, but they're called complementary because they complement one another and go together. So it's not
So pink is adorable.
I don't know. Colors, how do they work? Like magnets. Regardless, I don't know what the complement Pinkie Pie is, but
do I need to refer you to our color episode again?
the characters do have their eye colors and their little fancy glowy pants forms.
Glowy pants.
Something I just noticed.
So is this what they did with like the leftover paint after they were done becoming Super Saiyan?
Yeah.
They just like pranced around in it. Yeah.
Apparently, the complement to pink or red violet would be a greeny color.
Yeah, which is what you see on Fluttershy a bit, but you just didn't see that in Pinkie Pie,
right?
Because she's super pink. So
I don't know why
she
people
gets
in the
those,
show are so adverse to using the color green.
They color grass.
The dresses are green.
Applejack's eyes, almost called Rainbow Jack. That's not quite.
But it's like you have like her eyes and then one of the stripes in Dash's hair.
Green, when it's not in nature, it has the chance to be a very gross color. Like
You're a gross color.
You're a gross color.
Thank you.
Like when it's not in nature, like being trees or things, like when you see just abundant color of something colored green, like what do you mentally think of? You think of for me, I think of jealousy. I think of things that are natural, plant life, organic. And then I also think of, I don't know, there's kind of the top two. I had something else there, but I lost it. But it's the other thing. Oh, it kind of the color of evil, like jealousy things, when you turn green or whatever. So I don't know, like just think about it. Like a bright green colored pony isn't something that seems very natural.
I was
or
thinking
cool.
more of like an earthier green. I like green. I think there should be more green.
Like a Gumby horse. I don't know where you're going with this. Like how dark are we speaking?
You have to think that they named an episode "Green Isn't Your Color." Like,
yeah, well, green's my color. So.
Well, I think the point
and then when Rarity's hair went green and she freaked out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is a green pony, like explicitly green, would be weird or gross. And then the closest thing to a green horse I think they've had in the show is Chrysalis, if I'm not mistaken.
There's been some background characters.
Well, Lyra doesn't count.
No, but like actual green background characters, but they're like a very, very dull shade of green.
Yeah, they better be.
To all of our fans with green OCs.
Oh, what is this?
Bernd.
I just got linked to an actual green pony. Yeah, see, it looks like a Martian horse. I'm displeased. Oh, there's Granny Smith. She's a green pony.
Yeah,
and that's not that bad. Yeah,
all
right.
There's a bunch of green
you got me. I give up.
I like green.
Concede.
Green's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a gross horse.
Now that we've talked about this,
green
for,
in sickness about how much you hate green.
Oh. But let's talk about this art quickly before we have to wrap up.
I'd like to publicly apologize to all green fans.
I really like how messy the art is. Like it's very fun and energetic and just splotchy, and I like it.
I think that's Joey Bean's thing.
Yeah,
he makes a lot of messy, sketchy, fun, excitement.
Yeah, like a lot of his like he has like a title card series that he does where he shows off like kind of this artistic piece that's meant to summarize an episode, and so he does it for each episode, and they're all kind of crazy and wacky and often quite messy and maybe not in the actual like line work, but perhaps in terms of composition and things like that. It's always kind of wacky, and so I think this isn't too far of a departure from the kind of crazy stuff that he does normally.
Yeah. Like the paint in the scene I would call wacky, like, you know, kind of key to him, but normally the stuff he makes is so crazy and full of life and there's so much going on to it that like this kind of takes a venture towards that and becomes a lot cleaner than what I normally see him make, you know.
Right.
All
All right, well,
He did
Sounds
some
good.
of us too.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We love you, Jelly Bean.
He's fantastic.
He's pretty cool.
you guys are really good at transitions, by the way.
He
Just thought I'd tell you
also
that.
did a bunch of Equestrian Girls Rainbow Rocks art.
Shut up! For God's sake.
Speaking of Rainbow Rocks,
You have done nothing
Oh
for the
my
last 3
Christ.
weeks but mention
you.
Rainbow Rocks.
It's so good.
Shut
I
up!
haven't seen it yet.
Speaking of Rainbow Rocks, what? Just say it. We've lost control. Go.
Speaking of Rainbow Rocks, I think it's time to move on.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Okay, so my art piece that I wanted to highlight or feature I actually stole from Rainbow Plasma in his favorites because I actually hadn't seen it before.
Wait, that's where you got it from?
Yeah, good stuff. Is Rainbow Dash by Lox T.O.
Yeah, it's good.
Yay.
Look at the green in this. Isn't the green great? It stands out so much. I love it.
You mean the green in her hair?
Yeah.
That's part of a rainbow?
The green in the background.
You
Or
nerd.
the green hints that are on her ears. 'Cause there's a little
What are
subtle,
you? What?
It's
There's a
it is
subtle,
there, but it's a
subtle
bit of a
green.
stretch.
That's
All
a
right,
bit of a
already I
Very
didn't say
subtle.
that the green was bad in everything. I just said something that is purely green.
Bernd, I think you're green racist.
Green cyst?
What?
You're a colorist.
If he's weirded out by the green, does that make him a greengrocer?
What?
I will stand
Bernd.
by the fact that green people are gross. Like if there is a green person
Whoa.
out there and your skin color is green, you're either a
Wow.
Martian and you should get off my
Oh
planet,
my God.
or I don't
Bernd.
like you. Right
The
there.
racism cuts deep.
I have prejudice against green people.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What about people from Greenland?
Oh, well, we're looking to fill a new position in the podcast. That is someone who's not racist against
Oh
green
my
people,
goodness.
Bernd.
Green people.
My goodness.
Goodness.
All right, tell us
Racist.
about this art piece. What do you like about it?
Anon is a jerk. All right. No,
Bernd.
so I don't know. I really like it
Great.
because it's cute and it's got art stuff. It's colorful. What is it? The artist style. So like what the liberties that the artist has taken to make this horsey thing very, very cute. Extremely cute, actually. So obviously, like, something that's really, really adorable about this piece is Rainbow Dash's face. Face is fantastic. It's painted really well. It's happy, smiley. And then the fantastic ears. Probably my favorite part of the piece as a whole is the ears, because they're just so big and fluffy. Like, things that Bernd likes. Fluffy things, cute things, and adorable things. And, like, look at this. Fluffy ears, cute Rainbow Dash. It's adorable. What do you want from me?
Wait, hold on a second. Did you and Max switch places for this episode? Because he's usually the one that's all about the cutesy, like, adorable art.
I think you're thinking Joel.
Or Joel.
No.
Hey! No, I agree with him. I like the cutesy
I
art.
think you're thinking Bumber, Wiggle, McSchnatzum, Frazzle.
All right, Bernd, you've lost all permission to talk this episode. First the racism, and then the chants to Satan.
What?
Okay. Yeah, okay, my best friend's Beelzebub. Sorry. He got me.
Oh, God.
Please
this
do not green,
episode.
am I right, Bernd?
What is this? Exactly. He's the complement, the opposite of green.
All right. So I
Wow.
mean, I really enjoyed this piece too. As everybody knows, I'm a huge fan of facial expressions, and this one's really goofy. But I think also just from a facial point of view, like it's also got great proportions. I love the huge eyes. Even though a lot of times huge eyes can sometimes be a bit creepy if you make them way too big. This one's got really nice, like rounded, cute eyes. The expression is something that's goofy, but it's not impossible, which is really cool because I think a lot of the times when people want to make these goofy expressions, they do like the expressionist thing to do and go like crazy with them and make them wacky and impossible. This is totally possible. And I think that's really cool. I like when artists play within the boundaries of possibility, but then go as far as they can within those boundaries.
I like how messy the wings are in this piece, because it really kind of mimics feathers almost. Like it
gives
look
it like
fluffy.
a softness, right?
Yeah. And there's also like these little wisps on her hooves of like her fur that's kind of flying in the wind as she's diving.
Right.
Yeah, it gives movement.
Yeah.
It also got like a bit of fuzzy like on her chest neck thing area. All over really.
And the whole piece is kind of at a diagonal. Well, she's at a diagonal. Which is...
Yeah, I mean, obviously that gives it a lot of motion there. And there's a couple of things as well. Like, I mean, you can see both in the wings and the directionality of that. The fetlocks, which is a unique thing that this artist does, is add this like tufts of hair near the bottom of the hoof. Something that we only see in ponies like Big Mac or Shining Armor in the show. And so you can see that there's kind of direction of that hair. It's almost like you can tell that she's like spinning because of the way that the hair is curved, the way that the tail is curved. And obviously she's not facing a proper direction when she's flying. So
it's the diagonals. The diagonals make movement.
Yeah. So I mean, all of that conveys a lot of motion and a lot of really unique twisting motion, which is cool.
I really like how this artist did lighting with the really warm colors on her wings.
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, it's very, I don't know what the correct word is, but it's like joyous, I guess, or like, well, it's warm feeling.
Yeah. There is that. Like, I mean, warm sun, springy, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely like on her ears, head, and then like wings, and then the really like kind of glowy gold like on the tips of her feathers. But just like all the colors as a whole are actually really cool and interesting, because the entire piece, there's nothing really like black or white about it. It's all like just like, obviously there's a lot of white and like the clouds and stuff, but it's all just a bunch of different colors shading things. So like all the shadows on Rainbow Dash, like on her chin or on her belly or wherever, they're done in like violet, and then in her ears, it's all done with like different shades of colors. And it's just a very inherently colorful piece. And you can actually see that a lot in what the artist actually has a speed painting of this, where she speed paints this thing, or this inside. There we go. And it's the speed painting is actually really, really interesting, because this started out like nothing like this. When the artist was like first sketching Rainbow Dash, she was like upside down, or maybe she wasn't, I don't remember, but it's like started out with this very like sprawled out sketch and like a different pose, and then as she was like sketching it and like finishing things, she was like, nah, forget this, and like erased the whole thing and like redrew it, and then like cut Rainbow Dash's head off and like moved it, and then did all these things, and then she started painting in the background with basically, she started with a bunch of colors, and then just like purples and yellows and violets and all these different colors in the background. So like you can see the cloud behind Rainbow Dash has like that violet in it and like yellow and like a bunch of other different things, and like threw it around, and then started painting Rainbow Dash. And then what ended up happening was she started painting the wings and doing some of the details, and then started putting a lot of work into the face, and she's like, nah, forget this. Just smeared the entire like body and wings into just a big colorful mush, and that's what the clouds up at the top and like the purple at the bottom is now, and just like smeared it all around and just left the head, and then kept working on the face, and then resketched the body to the angle it's at right now, and then did the wings like one by one. So the artist kept like cannibalizing and redoing all the different like parts and poses of Rainbow Dash. And it was really interesting to watch, kind of like this process of like, I'm gonna actually like work a lot on this, and then just forget it and just like rub it out and do something else. But it was really interesting, the speed paint. I'd recommend giving it a watch. It was actually entertaining to just be like, forget this, just smear all of this, all this hard work in the past like I don't know, half an hour I've been painting, and just redo it.
Yeah, it's really cool when you get to see those kind of. It's amazing the journeys the different art pieces go through. That you always imagine when you think of artists creating a piece, they start with a sketch and then they go, but the shape of it never really changes. But that's not always true. There's lots of different changes that happen over the time of the piece, and different works in progresses, whether or not they're screenshots or speed paints or whatever, can kind of show you that kind of strange process that happens when sometimes you do just throw out random bits from the piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like insane how many redos this artist goes through with this piece.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of insane because like as a vector artist, like I'm used to, coming up with a piece and then being able to change it on the fly. But if you're a sketch artist or like any sort of digital painter or whatnot, you can't really do that necessarily. Like there's certain things you can do like to change things on the fly, but a lot of times you kind of have to start over and work with what you've got, or just create something completely new.
Redo it completely.
Yeah.
It was
a lot of work to redesign.
It was a very traditional way of kind of doing things, because like in real painting, you can't, erase it or undo. And so the artist didn't undo things or delete layers. The artist strictly just like grabbed, I think it's like the water smear tool or something inside and just like smeared it all out into a big blue blur, and then worked on top of that, and which like started making the clouds and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
So
I was just scrolling through Lox Tio's like DeviantArt, like the front page, and I was scrolling down, and like halfway down her page is my reference sheet for my character. I was like, the heck? She just added it to her favorites.
Okay. Apparently she likes your OCs.
Nice.
Apparently.
Shout out to Lox Tio.
Rats.
That's really funny. So, while we're talking about this artist, there's a couple more things that we wanted to bring up. But fortunately for us, unfortunately we're out of time for this piece, but fortunately for us, we've got another piece that's by the same artist, because I chose one from the exact same artist. So the one that I chose was called Twilight Sparkle by Lox Tio. So we'll pull this one up here now. And something that I wanted to talk about in particular with this artist was the fact that it's she, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's not my check.
So I'll say she. Was that she has such a unique kind of style when it comes to pony anatomy. Like she's completely changed a couple of aspects that really give things a sense of uniqueness in some of her pieces. For example, this one that I've chosen is one of the more unique ones in terms of anatomy in her entire gallery. And you can see the differences that she's made between like a show style or kind of a transform show style into an actual art piece. You can see that the ears are kind of fluffy, almost like they're almost feathery or very, very hairy. And they're also huge. You can see, as you mentioned before, the fetlocks, kind of the longer hair near the end of the hoof and the actual hard hoof within there. And you can see it's kind of a theme throughout the entire pony, where the entire pony has quite long hair. The hairs themselves are individually very long. And of course, the biggest thing in this piece is the incredible wings, the kind of 2 layered wings that again look very fluffy and look very feathery.
Yeah, I like how the wings are very different in this piece from the last piece. These wings are a little bit more well-defined, well-shaped and stuff. And there's a lot more, I guess, little touches of lighting and that like specular lighting on the wings. So they look a lot more glossy almost than feathery, like the last piece.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because these two actually weren't done tremendously far apart. This one that we're looking at right now with Twilight Sparkle was done in August, and the last one that we saw was done at the beginning of October. But it's interesting because I think that this artist really enjoys experimenting with kind of how far she can push these characters in one direction or the other in terms of realism versus cartoony style. And this one, I mean, it kind of goes, both ways in that sense, because you have like the more realistic fetlocks and longer hair and hooves and stuff like that. But you also add in these fantasy elements of these huge ears and these fantastic like dual layer wings.
Which I really like, by the way. It has a certain like, I know there's got to be some kind of kids cartoon or something that I like. It has a feeling of, but it has this kind of like fantasy-esque, almost children's book feeling of cutesy, kind of out there style that I don't know. It's almost nostalgic feeling for me.
It reminds me of what I would normally, before watching the show, what I would normally think of when I would think of like a unicorn. You know, it's more, maybe mythological isn't the right term, but you know, it's more of like a fantasy kind of thing. You know, it doesn't look like it's, oh look, it's just a horse with a horn. You know, like it looks like this fantastic creature.
Yeah, a lot more majestic than I guess the show makes
absolutely.
it feel.
Yeah. But these like the characteristics with kind of like larger features, like bigger wings or bigger ears, like I really enjoy how basically this artist's take on that kind of like cute style additive, especially in like the Rainbow Dash piece and when I wanted to feature it. I mean, they almost seem like second wings, you know, that happen to be ears.
Dumbo. But they look good. They look really good.
Yeah, especially in this piece, like when they're kind of lined up with the wings, they definitely do kind of. And I mean, it has a practical purpose, especially if Twilight, you know, Twilight has a horn on her head, so it's got to be heavy, right?
Help steer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's quite telling that these ears are so huge, right? But they don't look disproportionate.
Yeah.
And they don't look weird, you know? Like I jokingly mentioned Dumbo, but I mean that movie, it was like, look at this elephant with these giant ears. It looks so weird. You know? And in this one, like I honestly don't feel like that. Even though they're like the size of her entire head, it doesn't feel like it's crazy. Perhaps that's just because she's in a gliding, flying kind of
Yeah, as soon as she puts those ears up, I don't know.
Yeah, so like maybe if she was on the ground and it was shown with the same proportions, I might be like, ha, that's goofy.
Yeah.
But
the point I wanted to make though is like it's really cute and I really like the artist's take on it. And it also seems like a really recent development too. Like we've actually featured work by this artist before. I don't know if you guys remember Release. Basically it was in like our Ice Water episode or something, and it was who's that dude? The evil crystals guy.
Oh, the one that the Sombra.
Sombra,
yes.
Frozen in Ice was one we
Oh,
featured.
that's one of my favorite pieces. Yes.
Yeah, by this artist. And then there's an there was a piece we were going to feature but didn't make it into the show called Duchess. But why I wanted to bring up Duchess is it's very clean, like painted, like the background is like super well digitally painted, but like the character is very show accurate and very clean, very sharp. And like that was kind of what we knew this artist for these kind of like really clean, sharp, well painted digital painting things that weren't really like out there and didn't have kind of like this crazy twist on style. But then she made a piece called Rarity that kind of had a little bit of fluffy ears, and then from there her style kind of gets progressively more, I don't know, free. Like what's a good word I don't know a good way to say that, but it becomes much more experimental and a lot more fun. And then you see something like that Rainbow Dash piece, which seems so outlandish. And it's awesome. It's great. I really like seeing it. I'm glad that this artist is like has this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not to sound cheesy, but she looks like she's spreading her wings a little bit here and kind of exploring more styles.
Spreading her ears. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because like if you look at this artist gallery and like the progression from like that Rarity piece up until her most recent piece, which is Morning, she's definitely been developing a very unique style with the fuzziness and the ears and stuff. It's really cute.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think this piece in general is kind of like a safer piece, but I wanted to use this one as kind of an example of how she's kind of taken these anatomy changes and really gone wild and experimented with them. And it came out looking great.
Yeah, definitely.
I suppose the only other thing that I perhaps might want to bring up is that I really enjoy the kind of bluey purple and orangey yellow complements in this piece in the background.
Yes, the background in this piece is fantastic color-wise.
Yeah, I was also going to mention this.
It's like warm lighting, cool shading, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, warm light, cool shadows was kind of the thing, but basically warm lighting, warm character, and kind of a cool background, cool shading kind of creates a dynamic, because there's kind of a dynamic to cool and subtle between the background and then like the really warm colors in the character. And so it's kind of like orange, like you said, orangey and blue in the background, but a little bit of yellow, a little bit of violet, and then obviously Twilight to kind of stand out from it. That's a much warmer shade, almost red.
Yeah,
wings are red.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's all I really wanted to talk about in this piece. Joel, do you have anything to talk about this artist? Because I don't think you've said anything for the last two pieces. So,
you guys have pretty much covered everything that I wanted to say. So,
Compliment
well,
the
then
ears.
yeah, exactly that. What I was going to point out. I mean, I like the Rainbow Dash one more than the Twilight one.
okay,
I mean,
that's
they
fair.
both have their merits, but I like the Rainbow Dash one more because it's just more fun, more happy, more sort of a bit out there, a bit crazy.
Cool.
You know, with the tongue poking out and the adorable expression, and then you got the Twilight one, which is more serene. It's like she's just like floating and being content with flying.
Right.
The adjective that comes to mind in the Twilight piece is majestic. I feel like that's a good strong word for that piece. And then the Rainbow Dash is much more playful, like a lot more fun.
Yeah, that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And more cutesy too, with that face and the tongue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Where Twilight
And Twilight's
doesn't
just like being serene and content.
Yeah,
exactly.
it doesn't look like it's drawn to be super cute. Like, obviously there's cute features, but it's kind of this more majestic, flowy, unicorn-like feel, if you will. Princess Twilight with her wings. Such privilege.
She's now a princess. She can't be like doing
Scene with the
Rainbow Dash
commoners?
things.
This just gave me a thought. I wonder what ponies would look like if Pegasus looked like when they were flying and they do like birds do, where they suck their legs up into themselves.
Excuse me?
Where they're all like tucked in, like
Yeah, they fold their legs up underneath them, so
Yeah.
they're more aerodynamic.
All right. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to give you the first talking point on this next piece,
Okay.
just to get you going a little bit. So, Ted, why don't you introduce it? But Joel, I want to hear from you the very first impressions, because apparently we keep stealing stuff from you. So I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay, so the piece that I am bringing to the table is called EDM Princess by Rain Gear, who's a fan of the show. Hi, Rain Gear. Joel, say something.
Yes. Movement, excitement. You've got all sorts of stuff going on here. You've got DJ's like hair is like she's like stuck in some sort of static cloud. There's hair going everywhere. You've got I don't know whose magic this is. It's not hers, but she's got like lightning wings. She's got discs flying everywhere with her magic color. It's just a whole bunch of stuff just moving everywhere and going on. It looks exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It's got a lot of energy in the piece, and I
Yeah,
think
that's the word I
that's
was
something
looking for.
that's supposed to be conveyed there, because obviously you've got EDM music, electro dance music.
Electronic dance music. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. It's an upbeat music. It's definitely something that has a lot of energy in it. So yeah, I would definitely agree that this piece has that energy with it. And I mean, even just the kind of diagonal aspect of it kind of, again, gives it that energy, it gives it that motion, it gives it that skew that really conveys a lot of energy.
Well, we've seen pieces like this before where there's a really big circular kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a sweeping kind of motion in the piece with vinyl or DJ Pone 3.
Right.
Pony,
Well, I think
whatever.
it comes naturally when you think of like the records, right?
Yeah. And especially like this pose where her hoof is like forward, gives it like, I don't know, this kind of presence to the piece and this energy, like you were saying. Also, I like the fact that you pointed out, Joel, that her hair is like very staticky, because I don't think I would have noticed that there actually is lightning bolts in her hair.
Yeah, there's little lightning things dancing back and forth. And I didn't notice either that you pointed out that her wings are actually she's got these electronic wings. I thought it was static electricity was coming from the clouds in the background, and I didn't put two and two together that it looked like wings.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really cool.
That's why it's called EDM Princess.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
'Cause she's an alicorn princess.
She's the princess of EDM.
Yeah.
Princess one.
Well, I'm not sure how music gave her electricity wings, but sure.
She's the alicorn of music. Shut your mouth.
She's the princess of dance.
Yeah, Twilight has friendship. Vinyl has
She can
dance.
dance if she wants to. She can leave.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, what about friendship would give you wings? What is it, like Red Bull? Like
Yeah.
Because if they don't dance, they're no friends of mine. Friendship right there for you.
Burned. That was a pretty safe joke there.
I really like the background in this piece. Just like these speakers that are just kind of thrown in there in this circular spiral of like motion and clouds and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what the actual environment, like what's the setting that this is set in? Because it looks like there's clouds in there, you know, and the static electricity kind of skews my view of that.
See,
so.
clearly...
Could be like stage smoke.
Yeah.
Clearly, though, since she's an alicorn, so she's basically a god in the My Little Pony world. This is basically the Valhalla for electric dance music, where the gods go to party, and that is basically what's going on here, you see. And I can tell that by basically the swirly energies in the background, giving a very, you know, omnipresent, potent, you know, some kind of bullcrap I'm spewing. But, yes, clearly. I know these things. I've taken art school.
Did you actually, for the last half of that sentence, actually say anything?
No, we didn't.
No.
Something, art, something. Bernd's always
There
right.
was art in there at some point. I will give you credit. There was the word art in there at some point.
Yeah.
I still like the Valhalla of dance party-ness.
I do like that, yeah.
It's clearly, you asked where she was. I think it's pretty legit.
I do like Joel's take on it, that she's on stage and that is smoke. And it kind of gives it an interesting feeling that, like, you can't see the background, but you can see her in full, like, focus. So it's, like, kind of mysterious almost.
Yeah. There
Also,
seems to be almost this, like, tunnel aspect in this piece, where obviously we have this kind of, like, circular composition around her head, right? But then there's obviously this depth that's behind her too, that she's kind of covering up. Like where is it's almost like a tunnel, you know? Whether that be a tunnel through the clouds or a tunnel through earth or a tunnel through smoke.
She's on an amusement park ride that spins round and round and round.
yeah.
That's like the 8th theory we've had about this piece.
That's the point of the composition, though, is to be centralized around the character. You know what I mean?
Right.
So be spiraling or warping around the character, which, you know, drives our focus and where we look basically to the center and to the character. And it gives it a feeling of piece. All the feelings we've been mentioning since the beginning of when we brought this piece up. You know, feelings of power, of energy, of bleh.
Bleh.
And there's the fact that she's got 3 spotlights on her that kind of really drive the focus home.
Okay, I was like, where's the third? And it's right in the middle.
Yeah, I mean,
up above.
that's an interesting little point, because I don't think, when you think of spotlights, you think they're pretty obvious, right? Like, you think they're pretty in your face and they're meant to bring your eyes to where they are because they're so bright. But in this one, the spotlights are almost a peripheral, you know? They're almost an aside, because they're really, when there's so much else going on in this piece, it's not something that I immediately notice and go, there's spotlights there. Where are they going? Where should I look?
Yeah.
You know?
The spotlights are mirroring colors in the piece, though, which actually is like a very cool artistic thing you can do, where you can basically have certain colors kind of reflecting each other. So, and also something interesting is the spotlights also kind of create a depth dynamic, where like the orange spotlight, which doesn't have, you can't see like the actual lights kind of coming from the top left there, is in front of the character, in front of Vinyl, and kind of lighting up her like arm and front and face and stuff like that, and creating some of the light
like
there.
Console.
Yeah, and then the teal light behind her is actually like behind her. Well, you know, it's creating like a silhouette almost. It's not illuminating any like of her features like the orange light is. And then the pink light is echoing kind of the pink neon lights coming off of the vinyl discs flying around, because she's clearly using her vinyl powers.
Magic.
her alicorn EDM Princess powers.
Magic.
What's your special talent? I can swing around vinyl discs.
It's like, but we're all in digital. No.
Don't tell her that.
Hey, this is a pretty good cross between digital and vinyl, you know? That whole I'm a DJ, I hit the buttons kind of thing.
I am a DJ. I hit the buttons. Well,
it's a new single by Bernd.
On that note, I'm gonna hit the button on the art section.
We have like a whole more minute to talk about this.
No. We want to get to the questions this week, Bernd, and we've spent plenty of time in this art.
Oh,
So,
but I really like it.
Let's talk about the hair and how it's spiky and how there's electric-y things going between
We've
the hair.
already talked about that,
Like,
Bernd.
Zap.
I wanted to talk about the little lens flares that you can see, like the bokeh blurs.
Let's talk about his cute signature and how it's a gear.
I want to sing a song, but it's not appropriate.
I'm done.
All right,
I killed
but anyways,
enough time.
yeah, no, seriously, the art piece is great,
Yes.
but we're gonna move on.
Oh,
50
okay.
minutes, perfect, nailed it.
All right, questions, man.
Okay, so I will read the questions. First question I've got here is by Assassin Monkey. Equidae, Cervidae, Camelidae, or cattle supremacy?
What does that mean?
Question
I don't
mark.
know.
Question
It
mark.
confuses me. Big words scare me. What?
Well, see, I know some of those words.
Cattle is cow.
So,
Yes.
so is it? So it's cow, horse, camel, or cervies?
Yes.
What is a cervi?
Let's Google it. Cervidae. It's a deer.
Cervidae says
Okay.
So, deer, camel, horse, or cattle supremacy.
Okay, so let's look at this from the perspective
Is that
of real life.
I have to check if that's actually a camel.
So let's
It is actually a camel.
Let's look at this from. Okay, Joel, can you please move your cursor so some of us can actually read the question? Or no, that's Bernd. Bernd, move your cursor so some of us
Highlighting
can
it.
read the question.
There's no Times New Roman that I can change it to.
Oh, for
Right.
God's sake!
Sorry,
Stop
go
changing the- All right. So let's look at it from the perspective of like real life. Like, ignore the colorful cartoon horses and their biases that they might provide to you. So like, what do you prefer? Like, I guess like, what is the most interesting animal to you out of those four? Bernd, do you want to answer it, or are you gonna screw with the
Oh,
doc
you were
some more?
asking. I thought you were asking Joel.
No, everyone. It's a question.
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll answer it. For supremacy, I feel like either cattle or cattle like bulls or camels would be like the strongest. Like if we're talking about like sentient horse beings or camel being things, I feel like camels or bulls would be like the strongest, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But and then like deers seem pretty, weak in as far as the supremacy spectrum of things, pretty docile, you know what I mean? And
Make a
then
choice,
horses seem like the most intelligent out of the four. So like without horse bias, I feel like as animals, I don't actually know anything about the intelligence of camels. But
Bernd.
I would assume
Okay, well,
that horses
I'm gonna answer them
would be
because
the
Burn's
best.
just rambling.
Yeah, go
Holy-
ahead, Joel.
You lost all privileges for the next question, by the way, on that one answer.
Yeah,
Wow.
For the record.
Okay, so I'm going to pick cows because I know cows, and cows are very relaxed. So if cows ran the world, everything would be just so chilled. You wouldn't rush anywhere.
You got licked by a
Please,
cow.
just-
Cool.
Just
Yeah, I
chill,
sense
but
cow licking
Camels
bias.
are jerks.
Camels are jerks. Yep. I think you have camels in Australia.
I'm
We
gonna
don't
agree
have
with
to.
you.
There's heaps of amounts of camels in Australia. They use them for racing and stuff in the desert.
I'm gonna agree with you that camels are jerks.
They are jerks.
Mm.
They also
So which-
stink.
So Ted, which one which one?
I'm gonna go with the cervidae, the deer.
Okay.
Just because, yes, camels are jerks. And
Deer are bouncy and scared
The
of them.
cutest supremacy.
yeah, they're cute. I like them. I don't know. That's about it.
The deer in Nara, Japan are jerks.
Yeah.
You just don't like animals.
Did they not treat you well at the petting zoo, Joel?
No, it wasn't a petting zoo. They're wild, so they bite you. if you don't
Well,
give
yeah,
them
they're wild.
All right.
Did you
And they
not
bite-
give
and
them
they fight each
food?
other to get food.
Note to self:
What
bring
jerk
up
is
the
they're
If
wild
you think
refrigerator.
they've got
animals,
food
they
in-
bit
if
me.
you think they've got food in your pocket for them, they will come and bite you to get it.
Oh.
They're wild animals, Joel.
I just picture a bunch of
Also,
deer
horses are
chasing
horse people,
tourists.
so they're jerks too.
So cows are the only not jerks there?
Bernd,
Yeah, I got licked by a cow. I didn't get bitten by a cow.
Bernd, do you have an answer?
Hmm?
Do you have an answer?
Oh, my answer was horses because they seem like the smartest out of the four, as far
Cool.
as my knowledge goes.
Cool. Well, we've got cows, we've got deer, we've got horses. Sorry, camels, but I also like deer because they're cute. That's it. That's all I have to say. They're cute.
Yeah, camels spit too.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to the next question before
Yeah,
we start
those
talking
dumb
about
camels.
again. Joel, question.
Okay, so second question, I'm trying to paraphrase it. Second question is by Discord, rather than Discord or Discord.
Just read it.
Okay, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to paraphrase it. I trained myself to create lineless art because it seems to be more appealing. But after the last episode, I don't remember when this was sent in, so I can't remember what episode it was. I saw how awesome art with lines can be. How do you think I should work with styles like messy lines to make it more appealing? Thank you, Discord.
So what I kind of get from this question is that, he works with lineless art and he has difficulty making art with lines, lined art, that is the same kind of level of appeal. And, honestly, because I'm not too, entrenched within the actual world of creating art, I unfortunately don't have too much to help you with. But all I have to say on that front is just experiment a lot with the different ways that you're using lines. I think a lot of people will fall into the trap of attempting to make it look like the show if you have lines. And I don't think that is necessarily always the way that you have to take it.
Right.
You can do all sorts of things. Like, you can do stuff like for example, what Joey Bean does, and he just has all sorts of messy lines going everywhere.
Or
You can
Blitz
do
Pony.
things like yeah, I was going to say people like Blitz Pony who play with the colors of the lines, and people who just play with the thickness. Like some parts of the character or the background or whatever, really thin lines, and other parts are really thick lines, and some parts don't even have lines at all.
Right.
Also, all sorts of stuff you can do to make lines more appealing than just like a single thickness black outline.
I think you really nailed it though with line quality, like thickness, width. Like that's the best way to use like lines to make them really interesting, because if they're all the same width, it's gonna be boring. So like line width is like a super key to make it appealing. But messy lines, like you really got to have fun and experiment with it, like Joey Bean does, if you want to find your own style with messy lines, or find an artist with really messy lines that you like and imitate them.
Yeah,
your recommendation.
Yeah. And you also don't have to like outline the complete character with lines. Like I know artists like I think My Magic Dream or Meow Meow, I think, also has done some art where there's like the majority of the character has lines, then there's like some lines missing and stuff.
Clockwork Orange, oh my goodness, if you want appealing, like really creative line work, look at an artist on DeviantArt, Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange something. Anyway, I think it's her. The artist's line work is fantastic. Like there's some parts of the character are like outlined and then like the line fades away, and then there's like no outlines, and it's like the play between basically the style of lineless art and then actual lined art. It's fantastic. It's a pleasure to look at. Definitely look that artist up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's your answer. I think that every single artist at some point in their life should experiment with lineless and lined art. But it just really comes with taking in a lot of art and trying a lot of different things and seeing which one works for you.
Yep.
So yeah. Thanks for sending in the questions, both Assassin Monkey and Discord. Thank you very much for the questions, but we should move on to the plugs.
Yeah.
Plugs. Yeah.
We have a DeviantArt page, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. We have a YouTube page, which is youtube.com/cutieartcrusaders. We have a Twitter, which is @cutieartcrusade. We're Cutie Art Crusaders on Facebook. We also have an email, which is cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com. And is there anything else?
Tumblr,
which is tumblr.com/cutieartcrusaders. No, cutieartcrusaders.tumblr.com.
Yes.
I think. No.
Yes.
Cutie Art Crusaders on everything except for Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is everything for this episode. Bernd, do we have anything for next week?
Next week, well, I've been trying to schedule some more special guests. So we had Jada Jinx on last week. And then this week we were going to have a special guest, Vice, but he couldn't make it because he was on an airplane, so unfortunately. But I might try to schedule Vice again for next week, so look out for an interview with vice.deviantart.com next week. And then the week after, we are talking, we've been talking to White Diamonds. So it's the 28th, or what is it? Yeah, the 28th. Well, we record. So it'll be airing on the 2nd, so the 2nd of December. Look out for a possible interview with White Diamonds if everything goes according to plan. And then maybe some more artists after that, but we'll get to that when 3 weeks down the line.
We have a lot of artists lined up, which is awesome. Thanks, Bernd. You're the best.
I try.
Yeah, Bernd kind of binges on art interviews, so we're gonna have some cool people on. So if you have any suggestions for us, then let Bernd know, or just let us know via email or any way that you can contact us. All right, well, I mean, that's everything for this week, guys. So thank you for watching. Whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube, we love you all the same.
We love
My
you.
name is Rainbow Plasma.
My name's Bernd.
I'm Flutterguy317.
I'm Apple Spark.
And we'll see you guys next week.
I live for that sigh.
Yes.
Bye.